Hey everyone, it's Chris King back again from Able Spectrum. In today's episode, I'm here to talk about PowerPoint presentations. It's a presentation about presentations. So everyone knows that PowerPoint is a great tool for creating attractive, powerful, and captivating presentations. But not everyone knows if it's not done properly, not everyone will get to appreciate that. So I'm here to help you make sure that doesn't happen. Let's go. Okay, so here we are in Microsoft PowerPoint 365 in the a home screen, and we've selected new template, and you're given a couple dozen options here to choose from. Most of them probably are accessible, but to make sure you get one that is definitely accessible, go up to the top right search bar. This is PowerPoint 365 on Mac, maybe somewhere a little different on Windows, and type in accessible. From there, you'll get a fairly decent sized list of accessible templates, those that have been pre-designed with accessibility in mind. And if I select one of them, and there you have a PowerPoint template with a bunch of slides to pick from that are probably designed in a certain way that allows them to navigate through the content in a logical fashion. So that's a good starting point. So I've jumped back to slide 1 on our presentation. I'm on PowerPoint for Mac. To add information to your PowerPoint presentation, on the Mac you will go up to the File menu, and from there, I believe it's also the File menu in Windows, and in this case you will scroll down to the bottom of the menu and select Properties. It'll take you into the pop-up dialog box. On a Mac, I think it's just a new window pane on Windows. Here we're in the General tab, which gives you some information about your file. Just jump over to the Summary tab, and you want to put in a good descriptive title for your presentation. So here I have PowerPoint demo. In the title, I'll add accessible PowerPoint demo Able Spectrum. Subject is accessible PowerPoints, and the author is Christopher King. Those are the main things you'll want to communicate. The rest of them you can add if you'd like. Keywords, up to you. Select OK. This way, assistive technology will announce the title of your presentation rather than just the file name, which oftentimes doesn't add much useful information for people. Slide layouts. It's important to create the best accessible PowerPoint presentation that you use the layouts that come with the template you've chosen. So if you go to the Home menu and you select Layout, you'll see you have a range of different slide layouts you can use. By using those and copying and pasting your content into them, you ensure that assistive technology has access to that information. If you were to add text boxes or image boxes that aren't in the slide layout, for some reason, assistive technology might not be able to access them. So avoid adding text boxes and image boxes to your slides and just using the placeholder content that's already there. For text and fonts, use sans serif fonts. Those are fonts that are clean, more geometric, and they don't have the little serif. Serifs are the little curly cues that you find on the end of fonts. They're kind of an older style, more traditional font. The size of the fonts don't go any lower than 18 point, which is what they've done in this sample presentation. You can see the body copy or list font here is 18 points. For the slide titles, it looks like they've used 32. Anywhere between 18 and 40 is a good recommendation. Images are an important part of your presentation, And when they can't be seen, it's important that they have some descriptive text. In the accessibility world, this is known as alternative text, or alt text for short. So you can see in this presentation, they have some sample images, probably here so that you can replace them with your own. They're mostly decorative. Images in accessibility fall into two categories, either informative or decorative. So if your presentation has images that are informative, that is, they add value to your presentation, it's important that they be understood, then you want to add alt text to it. If they're decorative, you would identify them as decorative, and that way assistive technology would ignore them. So let's use this one for an example. You have some mango juice, and let's say this is your actual presentation. So here I would go to the review menu. I realize this is the first time we're doing this, but this is often where you will want to go for accessibility. So the third button in, you have check accessibility. If I select the little drop down and choose alt text, that will open up this pane over here on the right. And you can see this sample image here already has some descriptive text to probably demonstrate what alt text is. And it says image of a yellow smoothie with some fruit in the background. So if that image were important, that would be a good alt text description. But let's say this was your presentation, it's not important. Below that, there is a checkbox or a little toggle switch next to some text that says mark as decorative. So if I were to turn that on, that image will now be ignored by assistive technology. You can still see it for sighted people who might appreciate the visual quality of that image, but it's not important, so we may as well mark that as decorative. So for this next topic, contrast, I've created a little sample presentation here to demonstrate it. Contrast is important for people who can see, but maybe can't see that well. So some people have vision disabilities such as cataracts or different types of vision impairments that makes things harder to see. So because of that, accessibility standards have created a minimum contrast requirement. And generally that is 4.5 to 1. You can see 4.5 to 1 in the middle example I provided you here. It's sort of a medium gray over white. To be on the safe side, that is generally the minimum contrast I use. So to demonstrate how to test color contrast, I'm going to show you a nifty little tool that many designers and accessibility testers use, the color contrast analyzer. So I've opened up its window here just in front of the PowerPoint presentation. So you can see it set to black and white right now. On top of the black and white sections, you have a couple of icons and tools you can pick from. So if I select the color picker tool, it's going to show a circle's going to appear, and I can bring that up over the 4.5 to 1 gray and select that gray. You can see that that gray does certainly pass color contrast. If I choose the color picker again and select the 3 to 1 gray, oh, that one's correct. So it's good for large text, that is 18-point text or greater, as well as user interface components and graphical objects, which could be such checkboxes or form elements or little interface elements that you want your users to select. I would not personally recommend using a table in PowerPoint for accessibility purposes. They don't always work perfectly well with some screen readers. When I've tested it, it does not announce the header rows, at least with NVDA, when you select a cell. And header rows are important contextual information to help the user identify what the relational attributes are of a cell. But if you must use a table, make sure you keep it simple. The simpler, the better. And all tables must have a header row, a column row, or both. So in this case, you can see this has a header row. I've styled it black to help you see it. If I deselect header row from the table design menu, you see it disappears. The reason the header row is important is because, as mentioned, it gives contextual information to the assistive technology user. So if they're in this cell where I have red written, the assistive technology will announce header row 2, red. If you don't have that header row, it will simply say red, and you won't know what the red relates to. If you can keep if your tables are simple enough, you can also just use a list. That's a good substitute. Do not split or merge cells in a table. Assistive technology definitely can't tell you what cell you're in when a cell is split or merged. So the last thing I'll mention about tables is that images aren't the only objects that require alt text. Other objects can be given alt text too. Alt is just an alternative way of describing something. So because tables can benefit from a description, it's important that you put alt text for your table too. The reason is it just allows users of assistive technology to skip over that information if it's something they already know or they're not interested in. Charts and graphs. Charts and graphs, fortunately, can be made accessible in PowerPoint, and they're a great way to add some visual interest to your presentations. The same rule that applies to tables applies to charts and graphs. Ensure you have a little line of alt text to describe what that chart is trying to convey, and include all the elements that PowerPoint allows in all of your charts and graphs, such as a title, categories, and series as they are labeled in this case for each of the bars in your bar graph. I've also put the data points directly above the bars in this bar graph so you can see what number corresponds to what bar. I find keeping things in close proximity to visual elements that are identified by color, it helps make it easier for people to connect those two pieces of information. And I've also added a pattern to the different colors for those that are colorblind to help them distinguish between colors in case they can't do that easily. Multimedia. It's important if you have video with sound, video alone or sound alone, to have closed captions and a transcript wherever there are words being spoken. So in the case of a standard video with sound, you're going to first make sure you have closed captions. Closed captions are the words being spoken in text format just at the base of the screen. To make it more accessible, consider adding a transcript as well. The transcript can be a Word file or the text included in the PowerPoint itself. You could put it in the notes section of your slides, for example. Those are very accessible. In the case of a sound file, such as a podcast where there is no video, obviously you can't have captions, so you would include a transcript, which is a must. Reading order is important in PowerPoint because rather than having just a long text, such as in Microsoft Word, you have objects on the slide. In Word, it's easy for assistive technology to announce what's there because it simply starts at the top and goes to the bottom. But with PowerPoint, you have objects on the slides, such as a title, text, images. It's hard for assistive technology to know what order to read those in unless you tell it. Enter the selection pane on a Mac or reading order pane on Windows. I'm on a Mac here, so I have the selection pane open over here. And on it, it will tell you what the order is. It's different on Mac here as well. The reading order goes from bottom to top. So the first thing announced is the item at the bottom of this list. On Windows, it's the item at the top. And to change the reading order, you can simply select the item, drag it up, drag it down, and put it in the order you want it to. I've put little numbered elements on this slide to demonstrate what the reading order is here. So it gets added to the reading order as well. But you can see as I move up the reading order, the next object is selected. So on this slide, you will start with the number 1, and then it will announce reading order. Number 2, it will announce the text on this slide. Number 3, it will announce the alt text for this image because I took a screen grab of the reading order pane and placed it here. And if I select alt text, you can see I put a little bit of alt text there, so that would be announced last. Make sure your reading order is correct. The Accessibility Checker is a great tool that's included with almost all Microsoft apps, or at least the main ones. It's been around since at least 2016, and it's come a long way over the years in terms of being able to catch and identify errors, warnings, or improvements you can make around accessibility in your Microsoft document files. To use the Accessibility Checker, you just go to the Review menu at the top and select the third button in, Check Accessibility. When you select that, that will open up a pane on the right-hand side of your window that lists all the possible accessibility issues that are commonly found in a PowerPoint document in this case. And as you can see, there's a little checkbox next to each of these potential issues because I've already gone through. However, under the check reading order option, it is showing 2 issues. So if I select that, it will take me, the pane will change to ask me if I would like to check or verify the reading order for the 2 slides that it has identified. And I can go to those slides using the little arrows at the top of the Accessibility Assistant. So let's say on this second slide, I select the Verify Reading Order button, and it immediately opens the selection pane. That's the reading order pane on Windows. And I can go through each of the items in the list, and it will highlight them so you can just check yourself that they're in the correct order. And you can see the title in this case is the first object on this slide, so it looks good to me. Do remember that you still need to do a manual check of all your documents, and that is all the slides that we've been talking about today. So the Accessibility Assistant will only find certain types of issues, those ones that are listed in that list, but you still need to go through your presentation and check other things like color contrast and all the other topics we discussed. And that's it, your crash course on making PowerPoint presentations more accessible. These tweaks can make a huge difference in making your content clear, readable, and inclusive. So skip the tiny text, embrace high contrast, and give those images some proper alt text. Trust me, your audience will thank you. If this video helped, please like and subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Got accessibility wins or horror stories? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear those too. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.